Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Morning Coffees with James. I am off center today because I placed my camera on my Xbox, and so now I'm putting it on my GameCube, and boom, we are kind of centered. Yeah, here we go. We're kind of good here. I need a new camera holder because mine is broken and it's now short. Yeah, I'm old. But you know what? I don't care. Today is January 15th, 2026. Happy New Year, everybody. Before we start this video, let's honor Scott Adams with a simultaneous sip of the day. Because when I first did Morning Coffees with James, I did a let's have that first sip of the day thing, and that was based off of Scott Adams. So before we get into it, let's have our simultaneous sip of the day. Ready? Get your cup, whatever cup, chalice, whatever glass you have, or whatever cup you have, whatever you get, whatever liquid you want. I'm preferring coffee in this cup. And ready? Good. So what are we talking about today? Let's talk about the first thing on the topic today, Scott Adams, before we talk about myself. So, for those who don't know who Scott Adams is the creator of Dilbert, the comic strip. And for those who don't know what Dilbert is, before there was The Office, before there was Office Space, there was Dilbert. And Dilbert was about an office space worker working in his office, and the hijinks that went about in there, especially with his dog Dogbert, and also it developed a really funny cartoon back in the day called on UPS with the same name, voicing Daniel Stern, which Daniel Stern is innocent, I don't give a shit, and Chris Elliott as Dogbert. And before we get into that, it was a funny show and all that stuff, yada. Before I get into that, I want to talk about Scott Adams himself. For those who don't know if you've ever watched Scott Adams did a coffee show where he talked about politics, he talked about, the daily things going on and stuff like that. And also, he was a very smart, intelligent guy. He was talking about a lot of things that were going on in the world today and all this stuff. And he talked about plenty of things too out there, and one of my favorite things, he's talked about two things, and one of them was made into a song by Akira the Don. He's got clout. It was how America is seeing the world, and it's basically how he described it was like there was a movie screen, and it's playing two different movies. One side's playing a different movie, and one side's playing another different movie, and people are seeing two different events of it. I think this is how he said it, or I'm not saying it correctly because it's been a long time, because I'll get into it in just a moment, but America is seeing two different movies. Okay, better yet, no, it's one movie, but they're all seeing it in a different perspective. So one side seeing it terrible, everything's going wrong, and the other side is seeing it really great and wonderful and all that stuff. But one of the things I want to talk about, he was a very smart guy. One of the other things he was talking about was this song coming up. I might play it after the end of this, and it's good versus good. They say that, the normies or the simple, no, I wouldn't say simple-minded, but the naive think the world is good versus evil. And it's true, there is a good and there is an evil out there, and they're at war. But the nihilists out there think it's evil versus evil. But Norm Macdonald once said, none of that's true. It's usually good versus good. And that's what's usually going on. You have two sides who have a good idea, but they just don't know how to get together and cooperate and make it together. So, but I want to talk about Scott for another second. He also was pretty much like the reason why I did Morning Coffees with James, because I was like, okay, I like the idea of doing a morning coffee show by yourself, doing it and just talking to the camera and just giving your 2 cents about the world. I mean, like, granted, I wasn't as smart as Scott Adams. Scott Adams was a very smart, intelligent guy to a degree, because he was talking about a lot of things. One of those other things was, and it also got him in trouble too for telling white people to stay away from black people, because at a certain time, and I remember the video too, and a lot of things going on there too. A lot of shit was going on between black people and white people at a short period of time, and he was like, you know, he told a lot of white people, hey, just stay away from black people. You know what I mean? Like, if the roles were reversed, you know, they say, you know, if white people were a problem, black people tell other black people to stay away from white people. And he told white people, like, because I remember, because there was a video of a black guy executing, not murdering, executing some white guy sitting on the street, and just somebody was filming it. And I think this was during the Biden administration too. So yeah, if look it up. And it's been a while since I've actually done a morning coffee with James, so I'm a little out of it and a little bit, you know, hazy, so forgive me. I just woke up, I got a cup of coffee. But he got in trouble for that, and they called him a racist. But another thing that got him in trouble was, and this is the thing I'm going to talk about, and I know I'm going to get into serious trouble with YouTube. Possibly when I upload this to Rumble, I probably would get no strikes, because Rumble's pretty much free speech. And Instagram, which mostly Instagram was my main platform, but now Instagram is kind of turning into another TikTok, which honestly I fucking hate TikTok. Excuse my language, but I absolutely hate TikTok, because TikTok is like, that is the epitome of brain rot when it's used improperly, because you've got too many videos out there that are just enough is enough. Like, there's some funny things to see on there, but like, I would never get TikTok. I'm not a TikTok guy. I mean, look, I got Threads, that's it, and I'm stopping at Threads. There's no more, like, I got all certain different, you know, avenues of, you know, social media. TikTok, I'm just like, no, because one, it's owned by the Chinese government. I think still, I don't know. I think it's owned by the Chinese, some Chinese investor. Well, let's be honest, it's owned by an independent Chinese guy in communist China. So, yeah, still owned by the Chinese. And I know people out there, oh, the United States are spying on you. I'd rather have the United States spying on me rather than a foreign nation. So please, do not play that game with me. And I'd rather not the United States spy on me as well. He said basically, all right, Scott Adams, he basically was talking about the vaccine, and he's talking about, you know, instead of listening to the advice of other people and all this stuff, and this is, again, this is what killed him. He talked about the, you should take the jab and just get it over with. In fact, you should take many more jabs and stuff like that, and you should double your masks and stuff like that. And he was being, like, funny with it and all that stuff, but he was also being serious, so I kind of got annoyed with him a little bit. You know, I think everybody got annoyed with Scott Adams, and then everybody was calling him a fucking moron and stuff like that and all this. But I think he was trying to find some levity out of it and being like, no, if they want you to do this, then do it, you know. And then later, like, it came out that he developed turbo cancers, which honestly were true. Like, you know, hey, remember all these suddenly deaths? Do you remember all these, like, people who were dying from suddenly just dying? Like, getting in the case of the suddenlies, you know, or look it up. I mean, people getting turbo cancers and stuff of that nature. Like, that's why I backed up from him. Like, no. I'm not taking the vaccine. Like, I know, there's a lot. I missed out on a lot of things due to the fucking vaccine. Due to that fucking forced injection, which honestly pisses me the fuck off about it. You know, and even the mask situation, I'm like, you know, I'll bring it up and I'll find it too. But the way I kind of counteracted the whole mask thing, I'll talk about that in just a moment. But I want to talk about Scott Adams. Scott Adams, you know, he was talking about, you know, taking the shots on that, and he developed turbo cancer. Yes, it was from the shots, and he got really, really sick, and that's what kind of killed him. I mean, and on this day he ended up dead. And hopefully, I read the letter that he sent out, after his death, and he, the fact he still stuck to his guns till the bitter end, but one of the coolest thing is that he accepted Jesus Christ into his heart, which I'm starting to do. I'm starting to get back into being a little bit religious. I think a lot of people, and I'm going to be honest with you too, we need Christianity, or we need some religious, guidance in a sense, because, and I want people to understand this perfectly about religion, because I think there's a misconception out there, or people don't really understand why we need Christianity, and why a lot of these atheists, these people who hate Christianity, and they think it's the devil, and they think it's bad and all that stuff, and they think religion's bad. But I don't think religion's bad. I think the institutions that run religion are bad, and we don't really follow our own guidelines, or better yet, find a church that actually helps us. You know what I mean? Like, I know people pick on the Christians, and also razor fists out there yammering on about Lutherans and stuff of that nature and all that stuff. And people have different views on religions. I mean, you have Judaism, you have Islam, which honestly I prefer the unorthodox Islam. And if you are an unorthodox Islamic, I'm proud of you. It's okay to be unorthodox Islam. I'd rather you guys exist than the unorthodox Islamics. You can change that too. I mean, like, for those guys who are unorthodox Islam, Islamic, change it out right now. You don't have to follow all through of it. I mean, hell, there are unorthodox Christians out there. I mean, granted, I'll talk about that in just a moment, and I know people out there are going to be like upset with me what I'm about to say about Christianity, but it's the truth. I think Christianity and most religions are basically, and I'm going to talk about Christianity about this one, and most religions are kind of like this, but it's basically, we need religion, and especially Christianity, because it's the lifeguard of society. It is the lifeguard of society, and what I mean by that, it's, take a look at our culture right now with all the weird shit going on recently. Drag queen story time, the deviancy of everything going on right now, the degeneracy, the absolute perverted, nonsensical things that are just out there right now. There's no class anymore. There's no, restraint anymore. There's no, I wouldn't say self-censorship, because self-censorship is meaning that the government's telling you not to do it. There's no, guidance in that sense. Because, I'll give you an example of that. Like, let's just say, let's use a drag queen story time as an example. Is it a good idea to get drag queens to read to little kids? No. I mean, like, if you had to explain this to little kids, why a grown adult, like either male or female, had to be a drag queen or a drag king, tell them they're playing. They're acting in a sense. It's like, okay, they're professional in what they do. They're pretending to look like a woman. They're pretending to be, and some of them are really good at it. Some of them, you can't tell if they're a guy or a girl. Some people, and like, we have a lot of degeneracy out there that is unapproved in a sense, because it's like, okay, is it a good idea to, is it a good idea to let kids hang out with drag queens? No, I don't think so. Unless it's like, you have somebody who understands this and explains them in a proper sense. Like, you don't talk about sexuality. Like, here's an idea. Sexual education. Young kids, I mean, from like the age of like 5 to like 10 years old, should not be talking about them. When they hit like the teens, and I'm not talking about like, when they hit 12. 12 is still like, you're considered a kid. When you hit like 13 to like 16, yeah, that's when you start developing that, like, okay, your hormones are gonna start kicking in a little bit. So we're gonna talk about the birds and the bees. You know what I mean? Like, there has to be a certain age where you have to talk about that, and not talk about your sexuality. It has to be an appropriate conversation, talking about what's going to be changing in your body. You know, okay, you're going to be finding girls a little bit. You're going to see girls in a different light, or boys in a different light. You know what I mean? You're going to be talking about what changes are going on in your body. When you're talking about sexuality, do you like, when you're talking about like what sex toys and stuff like that, nature and all that stuff, and what it means to be gay or anything of that nature, you have to have a little guidance on that. Like, hey, we can have fun, but we can't, you're going to go over the deep end and you're going to drown. Our society's going to drown. And it's happening right now. All right. And again, that's an example of that. I'll give you another example too. Like, you got pride parades, the gay pride parades. I think if it was done appropriate, like, I've seen a couple of these where you have naked men and naked women running around children, like in the same vicinity, and I think that's inappropriate. I really do think that's absolutely inappropriate. Because you also got these like pup club people, that the weirdos who wear like dog, leather dog masks and walk around and pretend they're dogs. Like, look, it's okay to come out of the closet and announce you're gay. It's like, fine, you're gay, whatever, have fun, here's some cake, enjoy, congratulations. But leave your toys in the closet, because there's a difference between being a normal gay person and being an absolute degenerate. It's like, I would shame the person if they were straight too. It's not about gay or straightness. It's about the decency. That's it. And Christianity teaches us that. It's like, no, you have to be judged on the content of your character. You could be the most decent gay guy out there. You can dress properly. Look, you could be another Dave Rubin or somebody of that nature, and just be a normal gay person. That's it. I talk to a lot of guys like this. You know what I mean? I know gay people out there who are just, some of them are degenerates, but they're not, I wouldn't call them degenerates. I mean, like, they don't walk around, wearing assless chaps all the time. They go to those certain places that do shit like that. You know what I mean? They go to clubs, they go to little private events and stuff like that, away from the minors, away from young children, away from families. But it's also, I'll give you another example. I went to a certain beach up in North Jersey, near New York. And if you know which beach I'm talking about, it's one of the more freeing beaches on there. So I won't say, I'm going to say I went to a nude beach twice. I went to the same nude beach twice. It was Gunnison Beach. First time I went, it was a fun experience. It was a very calm, very relaxing experience, because it was like I was new there, and, I had to get a tan. I went there too to get an all over tan for a little modeling gig. But it was also very classy. Like, I met a lot of gay guys up there too, who were very calm, very, like, they weren't trying to, do anything funny. They were just being normal people. That was it. They were being normal people. And, they were just having a good time, talking and bullshit and just hanging out. That's it. The next time I went up there, and I'm going to blame New Jersey on this one, because I fucking hate governments, and I hate New Jersey's government, because I think it was Murphy, that fucking ugly motherfucker. Excuse my language, because he has to be called an ugly motherfucker, because he is, first of all, he's physically ugly, and he's mentally and spiritually ugly. They really ruined the beach up there. I think, and I know this too for a fact, they closed off sections of the beach. They allowed these really, like, degenerate gay guys to go up, allowed them, in a sense, the pub club people, and I was just disgusted. I was like, this fucking sucks. Like, it's crowded, there's too many people here, and some of them I'm just like, you people need to get the fuck, like, you should have left your fucking pub club bullshit. That's the problem, and that's the major event. I don't care if you're gay, but if you're, like, bringing your fucking club weird nonsensical bullshit there, your weird ass, like, degeneracy shit there, I'm not gonna follow you. I'm not gonna follow you. I don't give a shit about that. Like, no, I was like, I got annoyed. I stayed there for an hour and I left. And I was like so pissed off, because it was like, I wanted to go up there and relax, okay? I wanted to go up there and relax. So, no, fuck New Jersey and fuck Gunderson Beach. You know, and the reason, oh, by the way, the reason why I got there so late was there was a fucking line. There was a line, a super long line, because everybody had to pay card, because they were going into a cashless society. It felt great. We're saving the planet. We're not doing any more waste. Sorry. I'm sorry. That whole incident pisses me off because, by the way, no, money is not made of paper from trees. It's made of cotton, you stupid motherfucker. I can't stand liberals anymore, if you want to know the truth. I can't stand them. I can't stand their stupidity, and I can't stand their moral high ground bullshit. You're not morally better than me because you recycle, and I'm here to save the planet. The planet is hey, you know what? We could be just taken out easily by the sun or some cosmic force. How about you calm the fuck down and we could pay cash? Here's how it could have gone easily. Done. Good. Have a good day. That would have been it. Because paying cards is not quick whatsoever. It's not. That chip doesn't fucking work quickly enough. Swiping doesn't fucking work quickly enough. And I was just annoyed. I was just so fucking annoyed. I was like, this place fucking sucks. And by the way, no, we gotta reject cashless societies. It is the stupidest fucking idea ever, okay? I know people are like, oh, it's a waste. Fuck you in the waste. You're a fucking waste. So tired of hearing that nonsense about waste and we have to go, we have to do this, we have to save the planet, we have to get rid of plastic bags, which are happening in stores near me. Which, by the way, have you heard, there's other means of recycling too? Hasn't yet, you know what you can do with a plastic bag, and this is for dog owners and everybody else. You can use them as trash bags for your car, picking up poop, using them for, carrying, for, other things too. That's called recycling. It's like using an empty jar. Oh, the jar is empty. Now I get to throw it out. No, you could use it for something else. You can store nails. You can store other food products in there. You could store anything. You can reuse it. That's called recycling. But no, we gotta get rid of waste, so we gotta get rid of all of it. You can't have that now because we're trying to save the planet, and you gotta use this shitty straw now that doesn't fucking work, and you gotta use reusable bags, but if you forget one, sorry, you gotta buy a paper bag. What do you mean we have to buy a paper fucking bag? That money's, I'm sorry, but that money's not going to the store. That money is going to the government. That money's going to the township government. It's a fucking scam. Fuck you people. Stupid fucking up your own ass bullshit. Again, this is why I hate liberals. This is why. I don't hate them all. I don't think they're all bad people. But the ones who are running this shit are just white NIMBYist motherfuckers who think they're fucking smarter than everybody else, and they think they're much more virtuous than you because they're saving the planet. I care about people. Hey, guess what? Everybody else doesn't care about you. You're making our lives miserable. Knock it off. I just can't stand them, especially when it comes to guns too. The whole gun debate thing. Hey, guess what? I like gun. You know why? You know what? You know why they don't want you having a gun? Because it's not because they don't want you to be. They want you defenseless, and they want the cops to not lose their jobs. They don't want the cops losing any business. And it's like, oh, of course not. And also the fact that, they want to get rid of the cops too and get social workers because it's always going down to racism. Oh, it's like, you know what? You're racist. What? I'm going to say this too. I know it's going to piss everybody off, but everybody, including men, women, black, white, Asian, Latino, everybody has the right to be racist. Why are we fucking not letting people just be let people be racist? Just like, it's okay to be racist. I think this whole, it's okay to be white shit, it's okay to be black, it's okay to be you, but it's also okay to be racist. I'm not saying you should be like a asshole about it. I mean, there's a certain point where you have to say, okay, maybe we should be a little intolerant of other people because there's some degeneracy we just can't tolerate. And I'm not saying you should be an asshole and, dress up like a ghost or put on a cool outfit and, do one of these or anything like that or join a hate group. I'm talking about this forced tolerance bullshit. You know what I mean? It's this you must accept me because the government, oh, you can't hate me because we're enforcing, tolerance upon you. You must be tolerant to me. No. That's why do you think racism and sexism and every ism and phobia is rising? It's because you're forcing it upon us. Instead of just telling these people, hey, stop acting like fucking assholes for a second and just act like normal citizens, we'd be okay with it. We'd be fucking absolutely okay with it. And I know people out there be like, oh, he's promoting hate. And that's another thing too. Why are we fearing hate? It's always that fearing of hate. Hate, you must resist hate. You must resist violence. You must resist the negativity of the world. Oh, my dear Lord, my pearls, I must clench them. It's like, I say embrace hate. I say, embrace it and turn it into love. Understand why you hate these people. And it's like, you don't hate somebody for their skin color. You hate somebody because their attitude, their arrogance, their ignorance, their fucking stupidity to a certain degree. You don't hate people. You just don't like the fact that they just resist you because you are enforcing stupidity upon them. You don't hate black people. You just hate degeneracy. And again, you don't hate white people. You hate degeneracy. I'm not using the special words we call each other specific to race. I'm calling them out, but it is degeneracy. We don't like degenerates. We don't like people who poorly represent a certain group or class of people. And it's like, it's kind of fucking annoying in a sense. And again, I'm not saying you shouldn't join a hate group, but it's okay to be racist. It's okay to tolerate. It's okay to be hateful. You know what I mean? It's okay because there's things we have to hate. There's things we just are not tolerant of. You know what I mean? Again, the same thing with feminism. I'm sorry, I don't hate women. I just hate feminism. I hate the ideas of feminism. Sometimes I don't think femininity is not bad. I think feminism is bad. I think this third wave of feminism and fourth wave doesn't help people. You know what I mean? It's like you again, in the beginning it was about equality, and then it just turned into fucking dominance. We need to rule the world, and men are evil, and how dare you? If women ran the world, no, if women ran the world, and I noticed this too, there will be a lot more wars. There'll be a lot more fucking shit just not working anymore, because you're not running on logic and, statistics. You're running on emotion. Like the old saying goes, facts don't care about your feelings. But those feelings boost, and I get it too, those feelings do back up those, facts. And my fact is that women are not as better as men. And men are not better than women. We need to work together. We need to. And I know, it's fucking annoying. It's absolutely annoying. And also I want to talk about Steven Crowder here for a second, because, this goes into the whole tribalism thing. Oh, we need tribalism, man. It's us versus them, and it's all that, and they want us fighting. And, I believe that. I know Steven Crowder talked about this. He said, it's not just about left. It's, not about tribalism. It's the left is causing a lot of problems, and, the right's not doing all that. And it's like, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. The left is doing a lot more shit. But you know what? I don't think tribalism is the answer. I really don't think tribalism is the answer. What we need to start pointing out more of the shit the left is doing. And it doesn't have to do anything with tribalism. I think tribalism is a dangerous thing. Because once, we have two sides fighting each other, eventually, hey, guess what? Guess what's going to happen? Guess what's going to happen? Eventually, you're going to look at people on your own side and go, you don't agree with me? What are you, a leftist? Oh, you believe in this? Well, we need to chastise you. You're not part of the tribe. It's like, there's a lot of things I don't agree with the right on. A lot of things, like marijuana. Yes, legalize it. Turn into a class 3 scheduled substance. And before you say, oh, you think it's medicine. I don't think it's medicine. I think CBD is medicine. I think THC is not really medicine. It's basically used to get high. It's used to get stoned. It's used to, to get intoxicated. And this is coming, by the way, I actually stopped smoking. So, and I mean, I'm not saying just one substance to cover my ass. No, I'm talking about also tobacco, too. I stopped smoking those 2 substances. I also stopped drinking. And I'm working on the sugar in the other one too, and I'm not talking about the other one too. 5 things I'm working on. And actually I'm doing 3 out of 5 ain't that bad. So, one of them is sugar, so. Cute. And also one of them is brain sugar, if you know what I'm talking about. But it's bullshit half the time. I mean, like, people get so, like, I'm so tired of the tribalism. It's either one side wants this, one side like is that, and both of your sides wants the same thing for different reasons. You both love censorship. You both love to be fucking right. You both don't want to come together. And yeah, on the topic of marijuana, yes, I know, Razor, red states become blue states when they legalize marijuana. But you know what I'm going to just say, though? Then if that's the case, then we need to start pushing, hey, maybe you don't have to smoke weed. Maybe we need to start pushing, you know, let's be real factual here, okay? I don't think waking and baking is okay. I did that for a long time, and I don't think waking and baking is okay. I lost a lot of time there, too. I lost a lot of time. Hell, I'll tell you this much. I didn't do a lot of morning coffee with James because I was doing a lot more of the waking and baking, and it's not friendly. It's not nice. And I know, and also it's not really the substance that's at fault here. It's me. You know, people want to keep blaming the substance, but the substance is not the fault of it. It's you. You know, you need to stop, you know, and I'm talking to myself too, because the camera's fit. Yeah, I'm looking myself in the camera, so it helps me talk. So, and also knows where I'm at too in the placement. You know, people want to keep blaming the substance or blaming, you know, the supposed idea it's a disease, the toxins of the disease. No, it's not. It's a lack of willpower. It's a lack of motivation. It's a lack of guidance. It's a lack of what needs to be done, and a lack of just being, you know, isolated. Yes, it's okay to be isolated. You know, sometimes you want to be alone, but sometimes you need to be with you need to go out there with the group. And yes, I was about to say tribe. And yes, you know what? Tribe too. You know, it's, you know, marijuana is a social thing. You should, you know, and again, if you're smoking alone or drinking alone, which I'll talk about in just a moment, you know, again, I'm talking about drinking too. Drinking alone is not healthy for you either. You know, people, and there's a lot of people out there who weren't just waking and baking. There's people out there who were waking and just getting slammed. Listen to Charlie Sheen talk about that on Joe Rogan's podcast, and that's what kind of woke me up about that. I was like, okay, maybe I am hurting myself with waking and baking because there's people out there who are doing that, but with alcohol. You know what I mean? There's some inherent thing wrong with that. It's like, oh, smoking weed is not bad for you. I'm honestly, I'm tired of defending marijuana to the point where it's, I guess, I do believe it's not as bad as drinking because you don't get liver poisoning from marijuana. I know people, you want to use the schizophrenia thing. It's like, well, you know what? I'm so tired of the right when they talk about that because it's like, it's associated with the left, and it's like, I can't. And also, like, with the new health guidelines, I'm okay with the new pyramid, the new inverted pyramid that RFK pointed out that beef is the most, meat and beefing in general is the most important thing. I haven't seen the new pyramid. I'll take a look at it and we'll talk about that in another video. But I like the fact that he's pushing beef and eating protein a little bit more than just, say, you know, carbohydrates. Which, by the way, the biggest thing we need to worry about is processed foods. You know, I don't care if it's protein or carbohydrates. We need to stop eating processed shit. So, that one there too. But they also said, you know, alcohol was a good, you know, they also gave some guidelines on alcohol that it's okay, you can have some alcohol. Which I'm honestly like, yeah, alcohol works in general and stuff of that nature. But honestly, like, you're still drinking some kind of poison. I know people, like, I'm sorry, but no. I've seen enough drinking, and I've seen where that leads, and I'm sorry. I'm tired of people defending alcohol, too, and it's become kind of a right and left issue, too, with that. It's like, oh, the right likes to drink, but the left loves to smoke. Hey, there's a lot of Republicans out there, and a lot of conservatives who do smoke marijuana. So, calm your fucking, you know, holier-than-doubt bullshit, asshole, nonsensical, I know everything bullshit. I'm talking to you, Razor Fist. I'm talking to you. You know, I'll throw Melanie Mac in there, so why the fuck not? And you, Steven Crowder. Hey, and a little bit of you, Alex Jones. I love you, man, but, you know, I know they're talking about how strong some of the substances are out there, how strong some of the new strains are. And you, Michael Savage, I studied, herbal substances and all that, and red meat's bad for you. Your information's outdated, motherfucker, and you don't want to improve it because you want to remain ignorant and not, you're ignoring information. That's what being ignorant means. It not mean being stupid. You're ignoring facts. And I've done the same thing. I've been ignorant too, and I've also been arrogant. And those two go hand in hand sometimes. It's okay to disagree with people who are pretty smart and actually have some good facts. Hey, gay marriage. I don't think the church. And here's the thing with gay marriage: you can be gay and be married, but don't make the churches do it. Don't let certain institutions. Don't force certain institutions to do it. The church shouldn't be the one to do it. The government, I'm okay with the government doing it. I'm okay with certain other organizations doing it. But if you have a well-established, like the Catholics or Lutherans or any other established religious groups out there, don't enforce it. I think the Hindus I think it's either the Hindus or the Buddhists do approve of gay marriage. I'm not sure which one does, but I know it's not the Islams. I know it's not the Judaism. I don't think it's either. I know Christianity doesn't, but I think it's Hinduism or Buddhism that allows it. I may be wrong about that, so forgive my arrogance on that one. Ignorance, excuse me, not my arrogance. I'll forgive my arrogance too. But I also think it's, I'm just, again, I don't want to deal with tribalism anymore. And again, back onto like the shots too. Like I can also talk about the whole, vaccine. I don't know how to transition to it, but back onto the whole, shots thing. You know what I mean? It also, people on one side are like, oh, you're anti-science. You don't think the shots are safe, and it's like, no. Oh yeah, RFK also talking about the shots too, and they also put guidelines on the shots, and there was also we're also looking at the new health guidelines for the shots. You know what I mean? It's like it's a scary situation with that too. It's like I think we're overly we're overly vaccinated in this country. It's like we need more shots, and we need to protect people from. We need to make sure nobody gets polio anymore, and it's like I don't think polio exists in this fucking country anymore. I don't think any disease that third world countries have anymore are the problem. You know what I mean? And granted, I'll say this again, but I think the problem is that we don't look at what's in our food anymore. We don't look, and especially like what's funny though, we have the list of ingredients in our food, but when it comes to alcohol, we don't have that. Why not? Why not? I don't get it. And we should do it for our vaccines. It's like, I'm not taking this vaccine because there's probably some shit in it that I don't know what's really in it, and nobody wants to question it. And if you do, they call you an anti-science denier. And look, I fell for the propaganda too as well. Swine flu this, or bird flu that, or this disease, that disease, this disease. And hell, here's the thing. I've never gotten a flu shot in a while, and I don't want one. And I never got a COVID shot. Hopefully I didn't. Because honestly, when my appendix exploded, I didn't think they were sneakily giving it to me. I would, if that's the case, then if something happens, then I'm suing Abington Hospital. So, luckily, I didn't just die of the case of the suddenly. So, I haven't gotten turbo cancer yet. So, that's a scary one. Turbo cancer. I'm turbo cancer. I'm here to kill you. Ha 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 ha. Back on the turbo cancer, that's what killed Scott Adams. People don't want to talk about him and be like, oh, that's impossible. It's like, really? He was a healthy 60-year-old, and then all of a sudden he gets turbo cancer. Again, most of those people who got that shot, the Pfizer shot, ended up getting turbo cancer. There's a lot of my generation, your generation, or anybody's generation got it. Like, seriously, a lot of these people got turbo cancers. How come? How come most of these people got some weird ass disease? You know what I mean? Or just died instantaneously at a young age. You know what I mean? It's again, forcing that vaccine upon you, forcing this. I'm not going to go into Alex Jones conspiracy theory land here, but let's just say maybe it's a depopulation scheme. Maybe they're trying to replace us with another group of people. and that's another thing too. I do think that's a true thing. I think there was the great replacement theory right there. They're trying to replace us with people who are more agreeable. And I can talk about politics on that one, but I don't want to talk about politics, and I'm just getting real sick of politics. I know there's a lot of political things going on, but I do think there's a lot of people. If I'm going to talk about politics here for a second, excuse me, I'm going to talk about some of these people who are defending people who should not be here, or people who don't really care for the United States. You know what I mean? How many times have you heard, oh, well, we need these, immigrants because they're doing the jobs that Americans won't do. You mean the jobs that Americans won't do because it's not being paid well? And you want your slave labor? Just say that. That's every time I hear that, I'm like, that's what you're saying to me. It sounds like you're saying you just want the slave labor. Like, the H-1B ones and all those people who are computer scientists. Oh, well, what, an American couldn't do it? So you're telling me an American couldn't pick, oranges, which, by the way, we have automation now, and that's going to come in and take everybody's goddamn jobs. Computer science, you don't think there's an American out there who could do it? You don't, and by the way, and I'm talking to boomers out there, too, because my mom and dad are boomers, so... No, I'm not blaming them. This is not a rant about them. It's a rant about the generation. So you're telling me you want these guys, they're the guys who are doing the jobs, and we need these guys to, excuse me. But how many times have you been on tech support and you heard, and forgive the accent, hello, this is Thomas. I'm sorry, but you don't, I know you're bleeding hard, you want to help everybody, but, once you have to deal with the reality, you get upset. Maybe, I'm just saying, maybe we could get an American to do it who speaks properly. And trust me, I've dealt with Indians before when it comes to technology. They're they're not nice people too. So this idea of like, oh, brown people are nicer than this, or I get it. There was white people out there who were awful, but like it's getting old. It's absolutely getting old. Like, there's jobs out there Americans can do. And by the way, I want to get on the whole rant about jobs and shit, because I've been hearing about people getting upset with like white liberals out there, and every time they want to insult them because of education or the skill thing, they're like, oh, you're gonna end up working at McDonald's. It's always McDonald's. It's always fucking McDonald's. I am so tired of using McDonald's as an insult, a fast food joint, which is like, hey, I could work at a Wendy's, or, Burger King, or, Five Guys, or In-N-Out, or any other fucking restaurant, or any restaurant, being a server, or being a bartender, or being a dishwasher, or a barback, or a busboy. There's plenty of jobs, you fucking overly entitled, educated motherfucker. Why don't you work at a McDonald's, if it's so fucking great? Why don't you give it well, I don't want to work. No. Have you ever worked at a fucking McDonald's? Have you ever worked in the restaurant business? In fact, have you ever, by the way, you're the same motherfuckers who use construction as, an insult too, which honestly, yes, construction is another harder job. I'm sorry, don't give me the bullshit of, oh, it's a skilled job. No, bullshit. And I'm tired of everybody doing this. I cannot stand this fucking using other people's jobs as an insult. What, because you work in a nice cushy office? You work in a nice cushy job? Motherfucker, shut the fuck up. Like, seriously. I'm tired of you motherfuckers. Don't you ever use somebody else's job as an insult. And by the way, don't ever think that the trade's job is better, is a safety net too. Because half the time, some of these people are also struggling with money too. Working a day in and day out, doing shit. Just because you know how to use swing a hammer doesn't mean you're going to be paid better than most people. Okay? This fucking bullshit of, oh, I get paid $40K. Now, how much do you get paid a week, though? I want to know that part. I want to know this fucking, do not lie. Don't blow it out of proportion with yearly or weekly or not, yearly or monthly. Tell me how much you make in a fucking week. Because I want to know that part. I want to know that part. Not the one, because you make it sound more like you're getting more money than you are with a monthly. Because nobody does the fucking math on that one. Tell me how much you make in a fucking week. Because that's how it works. Oh, you don't want to do that because you don't want to see the reality of it. All right, fine. Fuck you. And by the way, having a trades job is a little hard too. And those people would love to work there. Oh, but we need to get, outside labor. And I know I could say Mexicans, but it's not just Mexicans. It's also, like I've talked to, it's any immigrant. It's, oh, well, they want to work and they've been working harder. Just because they work harder, you got to question why they were working so hard and they're not taking any breaks. Why don't you question that? Oh, that's right, because you don't want to look at the reality of that too. You get angry at a white American, I wouldn't say white American, at an American who's doing meth, or, oh, he's on substances, which honestly I'm tired of. I could get into the whole subject about the NA and AA groups and all that shit, but that's not what this video is about. I'm talking about those people, some of those people could be on methamphetamines, and you don't want to talk about that. And some of them are illegal. Once that ICE thing came along and everybody got upset with people, like, oh, now we're going to hire an American. Yes, now you got to hire an American who's looking to work. Oh, he doesn't have any skills in this. Oh, shut the fuck up about that. You fucking pressy little motherfuckers, okay? You fucking pressy, ninny fucking assholes. You fucking Queen Marys. Deal with what you get, all right? Yes, they're not gonna do it right all the time. And maybe not bust their fucking balls about it, because you know what? Some people do want to fucking work. Sure, they're not fucking skilled in that, but it's the only job they could get that actually fucking pays at the moment, okay? Take what you can and shut the fuck up. Seriously. Fuck, I've worked in construction, and people are just so up their own ass about that. They're the most fucking nitpicky fucking groups of people out there. I can't use that material. Oh my god. It's like, hey, Queen Nancy, take the butt plug out of your ass and fucking take a shit, because you're backed up already. It's annoying. It's annoying. And I'm tired of hearing that good money shit. Or, but my favorite, it's a real job. Get a real job. Don't you have a real job? Why, get a real job. A real job. This is not a real job. Well, the criticism of working. It's like, if you're doing some kind of job they don't consider real. Oh, that's not a real job. This is a real job. Oh, well, what's the matter with it? Why don't you get a real job? This job is not real. Hey, fucker. I'm getting a paycheck. I'm working my balls off. You don't have to deal with fucking people yelling at you. You don't have to deal with fucking Karens of all races and creeds yelling at you every day. You don't have to fucking deal with fucking, dealing with fucking toxic shit half the time. Talking about a real job, I'm getting a paycheck. That means you're getting a real job. I'm tired of this job entitlement shit. Hey, construction worker, why don't you just drop off a fucking building? All right, why don't you just stick a nail gun up your ass and pull the trigger? Shut the fuck. I'm using construction workers because those are the biggest entitled assholes out there. Well, I get $40K a year. Hey, how much do you get in a week? How come you always play the fucking lottery? How come you complain every time it's cold outside or it's hot outside? I guess it's not really a great job that you're describing there. And this is coming from a guy who's done HVAC, and granted, there's some benefits to doing HVAC and stuff of that nature, and I could talk about business and all that nonsense, But to be honest with you, it's getting annoying. Just have some respect for people who work these jobs that nobody else wants. Those are jobs that nobody else wants to do, and they're doing them. All right, these young kids who are just trying to serve you fucking food, but yet you fucking entitled asshole, because what? You went to a fucking trade school? Go fuck yourself. Half that shit you can learn on the fucking job. But no, we need everybody to go to school. Oh, but you blame all these fucking college kids going to college, going to get higher earning jobs. Oh, but the tradespeople are much more fucking important than you are. I'm sorry, take your entitled ass and shove it up your ass with a hammer. Okay, because it's getting annoying. It's getting absolutely fucking annoying hearing these tradespeople talk. And by the way, stop hiring illegal immigrants. All right, stop being pressy and hire people who want to work. There's people who do want to work, and yes, some of them don't know the trades. You have to teach them. Oh, but you don't want to teach them because you don't have the fucking patience to. Hey, here's an idea. Lay off the fucking drugs, and you know what? Calm your fucking shit down. Okay? Again, I'm so fucking tired of these fucking people anymore. Okay, I really am. You know, again, you yell at fucking college kids and shit of that nature. And I know people out there don't like their job, and this is not what they wanted. But as someone who is an artist, hey, what made you stop writing? Write. You know, oh, I got kicked. Like, and that's another thing too with the whole, you know, I don't have time for. You have time. You just wasted on bullshit. Half the time. I'm dead serious about that. Oh, I don't have time to go to the gym. Bullshit. You do. Find some time. You have time. And it's not about money or time or hiring people. You have to be the ones who have to be educated on food. You have to be the ones who are educated on fucking fitness and wellness and all that stuff. You know, you go for the cheap, easy shit because you act too busy. Well, you know what's something your health is in your own hands. And again, that's another thing too. Well, I don't have $1 billion to hire trainers and chefs. Well, you are all that. You are the chef, and yet you choose to eat shitty food. You are the fitness guy. You are the trainer, but yet you don't want to motivate yourself to get better. It's always this fucking, if I had $1 billion, if you had $1 billion, you'd be wasting it on bullshit. Don't give me this bullshit that you'll be using it on something else. Shut your fucking arrogant mouth. You know, I'm going to be honest here too. If Brad Pitt didn't have the money, or Jennifer Aniston, they'd be working out too. It's not about the money. It's about the mindset. And plus, I do have to go to the gym in about, 4 minutes. I have to go. Why? Not because I like it, because I have to. Because being in shape is a duty, not to yourself, but to your kids, to your countrymen, to your fucking people. Like, stop being a bunch of arrogant little slobs, okay? That you're self-important. That's another sign of, that's narcissism right there. Oh, these people, I'm very smart. I don't have to work out. And no, that's just narcissists. They just think they just want to look good naked. Yeah, of course, that's an okay thing to be. God damn you fucking people. Annoy the shit out of me. You're you're entitled. That's how you act. Either it's job entitlement, intelligence entitlement. It's like, exercise. You can exercise. It's not too fucking late. Okay? I'm tired of you fucking people. Eat better. Eat fucking red meat. I don't. I just go with the cheap, easy fucking shit. I'm sorry, but those protein powders are not fucking working. Real food. And I fell for that fucking same trap too. Why? Because I thought protein powders were going to get you stronger. No. Real meat. Eating eggs. Eating, and I'm sorry, but not all vegetables are great. Except for carrots. Because carrots are the fucking apex predator of fucking vegetables. They taste good. They're easy to eat. They're easy to digest. And they help you. Why do you think Bugs Bunny is unstoppable? Okay. But no, I'm just so done with it. I'm just so done with that. The fitness shit. Like, you have time to exercise. You just choose to fucking do something else. You choose to be lazy. And by the way, I've done exercise after work too. That's not easy. Drinking a caffeinated drink to get motivated. You know what I mean? I've drunk my fair share of energy drinks and, pre-workouts. There's supplements out there that can help you too. Methylene blue, nitric oxide. Let me just think what else. Creatine. You're just using it as an excuse to be lazy. So you can watch your fucking stupid Netflix shows or your stupid... I know, and I get people want to rest and relax too. Hey, you can also go in the morning to the gym. Before you have to take care of your kids and stuff like that. You can go watch... You don't have to watch Netflix. You can go to the gym. Go there for an hour, hour and a half, like 45 minutes to like 3 hours. And I know people out there go, well, why are you going to the gym? You're not trained to be NFL. Hey, but maybe they are. Maybe they are training for life. Because life is scary. You have to be capable. And also there's people out there, by the way, we're on the verge of a civil war. There's people who are geared up and all that shit and buy all this gear. Hey, how's your cardio? How's your weight training? How's your strength training going? How's that going? Because I see a lot of motherfuckers who are buying a lot of nice fancy equipment, but some of them look like ham planets. I'm not picking on those people. I know some of those people. I'm not picking on your weight, but you should lose some fucking weight. And again, it goes with the art too. What's stopping you from writing, a book or a novel or a movie or a play or a cartoon? Or what's stopping you from taking acting lessons? It's usually money, but it's also usually not going looking for a book, not looking for that shit. Hell, we have YouTube nowadays. We can look up things on YouTube. You don't really need schools. I continued my education in film with YouTube, thanks to a friend of mine. Thank you, Seth. And you know what? You know why I fell out with film? And I'll tell you this, because I felt hurt. I felt like there was no chance to get back in there. And I felt the industry, and by the way, the industry is falling apart. But you know what? This is the thing people need to realize. We need to get back into the film industry. We need to get back into entertainment. I'm talking to people on the right and people who feel like disenfranchised by these entertainment companies that keep berating white men constantly. We don't need to listen. We need to get back into that arena again. And again, if you're a Republican, if you're a conservative, get back into that arena. We need to flood the film industry. You know, oh, well, I know it's filled with, like, no. We need to stand proud of that. You know, they don't like us? Well, fuck you. We accept you for being gay. Why don't you accept people for being conservative? Why don't you accept people for being Christian? Why don't you accept people for being a Republican? Who gives a shit about politics or religion or any of that nonsense? Your job is to make art. The brilliance of this format is everybody gets together, they leave some of their bullshit behind and focus on what they're trying to sell the product as, what the final product of a film is about. And by the way, I'll tell you this about film school, it's up its own ass. And the reason why film school is failing everybody is because, and I'll tell you what, with Temple, I wasn't crazy on this, especially with Temple, especially with the institutions. They've fused the art department and the film department into one thing. So you got a lot of these pretentious artists going around talking, you know, you got all these people watching the same fucking arts film for a long time. And I'm granted, I respect the art films and stuff of that nature. Okay, fine, whatever. But at the end of the day, you didn't go into the film industry to make art films. You went into the film industry to make movies, to tell stories, to make movies. And you know what that entitles of? Knowing how to use the equipment, knowing how a film set works, how the fucking industry works. None of that they don't teach you that. You have to go online to learn that shit. That's my problem. Imagine, and I'll tell all the tradespeople this too, back to you fuckers. Imagine if, like, the fucking, and it's possibly true, and I've heard stories about this, of people going into the trades business and filling their head of ideas of getting multiple millions of dollars, getting paid $30 an hour by a company of some sort. But in reality, you're going to be probably working for a mom and pop shop that can only pay you like 15 or like 12. I'm using it as an example. I don't know the full of it. But, you know, they fill their head with bullshit half the time. But imagine if they filled their head with communist gobbledygoo, which they do with the unions, which, by the way, fuck the unions. You heard me correctly. Fuck the unions. You people are bigger communists than ever. Those are accepted communist groups. Those are accepted socialist groups. Oh, well, those guys get paid a lot of money. Yes, to sit around and not do anything for a while. And also the money they do earn goes to the fucking unions. And the fucking benefits, which, by the way, we don't need more tradespeople. We need more doctors to make healthcare more affordable. It's not really about fucking, you know, medicine costing this much money. It's the fact that we don't have enough doctors to do simple fucking shit. We have nurses who are capable of doing it. Oh, but we can't let them do it because they don't have their doctorate. Fuck you. That's why the fucking Medicare is so expensive. We don't have enough fucking doctors to just do simple shit like stitching people up. You wanna know why a stitch costs lots of fucking money? Because we don't have a lot of doctors doing the same fucking job. That's the problem. That's the motherfucking problem. Alright, I think I've spoke long enough. And you know what, it's great to be back. And to Scott Adams, I miss you, man. I know you're wrong about the fucking vaccine. And you know what, I miss you. Alright, we're gonna miss the simultaneous sips. We're gonna miss the coffees with Scott Adams. I am. And I'm going to play everybody out here for a second, because here we go. I'm going to play us all out with a little song by Akira the Don. So, here we go. He's got clout.
the best day.